So we're now moving on to 7:30 per mile on the whiteboard right here. Another big milestone as it pertains to half marathons, and such. And if 7:30 per mile, you break it down to a half marathon, you're looking at almost a 7-minute drop, and you're looking at about a 15-minute drop or so, close to it in a marathon. So pretty significant, particularly depending on where you're at, where you're coming from. But either way, it's kind of a next logical step in improvement. So we're also going to give you 6 new workouts today. So the last 3 videos, 9 minutes per mile, 8:30, 8 minutes, they're all in the description. You have 6 specific workouts. Now you're going to have, for the next 3 videos, 7:30, 7 minutes, and 6:30, 6 new workouts, okay? Some of which are a progression from the last 3 to this 3. Some of them are completely different, and you'll notice the difference as we go on. But I just want to say this, like I said this in my last video. What I'm trying to do, my goal with this channel is to make it one of the best running channels out there, right? And to give back as much as possible in the running community. And my philosophy is, I don't care whether you're a 15-minute miler or a 4-minute miler or a 35-minute 5K runner. Doesn't matter. Or a 14-minute 5K runner. I want you to have access to as much training content as possible so you can get better no matter where you're at. Period. So everybody deserves access to as much content as possible. And I have coached people from beginning level all the way up to the elite level. So, and I want to share this with you. That's my goal with this channel. So it serves as a problem solver, answers questions, guides you along your way in your path, whether you're a coach or an athlete or aspiring coach, whatever it is. My goal is to give you some content that you may or may not have seen, or something that'll help you along your journey. So I hope you find this helpful. And if that's what you like, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't yet, hit the bell icon. You won't want to miss all the videos that I'm going to be putting out. And I have 200 plus already for your enjoyment and for your education. So with that, let's get over here now, okay? 6 new workouts. So here we go, okay? You may have seen the last batch of videos. We started at 400 meter reps, which are a critical component of speed development for 5Ks, 10Ks, but particularly half marathons and marathons, because particularly in those races, the longer the races become or get, the more energy efficiency and energy preservation comes into play. You want to be as efficient as possible with these longer races so that you're wasting as little energy along the way, particularly as the races get into the latter part. So when you start getting fatigued and things like that, some of these workouts, as well as the ancillary things, flexibility, range of motion, and functional strength training, and all of these things come into play, obviously. But these workouts, some of the shorter stuff, can help you with your stride pattern, your stride efficiency. So with that, we're going to talk about the first workout, which is 500 meter repeats. I added 100 meters to this segment, okay? We're building towards 12 to 16 of these. So it's a repeatable workout that you could do every couple of weeks should you want to do that. Laying out the training is up to you as a coach or an athlete. I do have fully detailed training programs down below for the half marathon, so you could take a look at how I lay things out. Might find something helpful there. You can also use those guys, all those programs to follow. You just plug in the paces that you're looking for. But these are the paces we're building towards, okay? So not necessarily right away. You want to make sure that you're training at the right paces, which are your current fitness, or the current fitness of your athletes, and progressing along the way, okay? So 12 to 16 times 500 meters with a 100-meter jog, nice and easy. So looking at least a minute recovery, sometimes a little bit longer. At 10K pace to 5K pace, and the equivalent pace you're looking at 213 to 208 per rep of these, okay? And that's the rep for the 500 meters. So again, it's 213 to 208, 10K pace to 5K pace, okay? So it's a nice form of speed development for the half marathon, okay? Second, this is a half marathon pace kind of progression workout. It's a workout that you do four times. This is a little bit different than my first 3 videos. So take a look at those so you can compare them. Now we're building the volume here, okay? So the first one, you're doing 2 times 4 kilometers, which is 5 miles of total running, but you break it up. You put a 3-minute recovery in between each. The goal is to run them at half marathon pace, which is 7:30 per mile, maybe towards 7:25, no more than 5 seconds faster per mile, okay? You add it up against 5 miles worth of running. Then let's say 2 to 3 weeks later, depending on how long your actual marathon training cycle is, you do 5 miles consecutively now, okay, at half marathon pace. So that's same 730 to 725 per mile. So you now have a sign of progression, okay? And again, doing a workout a few times and each time doing it faster is a sign of progression. So is building into the volume at the same pace progressively over time. That's also a sign of progression, and they're both important, okay? The third segment is 2 times 3.5 miles, okay? 7 miles of total running. But the first time you break it up into 2, you do 3 minutes in between each rep. Then you have 7 minutes per mile. And then the fourth session, 2 to 3 weeks after, 7 miles consecutively at half marathon pace. If you can get to the point where about mid-season you're running 7 miles consecutively at your goal half marathon pace, you're looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good, okay? That's a good sign. Workout 3, okay? This is a workout that I really like to do because it infuses half marathon pace and some faster pace. It teaches you pace fluctuation and things like that. So the first segment is another 4 kilometers, which 2.5 miles at 7:30 to 7:25 pace. So that's half marathon pace, our goal half marathon pace. Okay, you take a 4-minute active recovery, and then you do 4 times 400 meters with a 1-minute recovery at 1:38 to 1:40. Okay, which is about 5K pace ish, 10K pace to 5K pace. Okay, then back here after the 4th rep, by the way, you take a 4-minute recovery. Excuse me, instead of a 1-minute recovery. And then you do another 4-kilometer effort at the same half marathon pace, 7:30 to 7:25 per mile. You take a 4-minute recovery again, and then you do 4 more 400-meter efforts. Okay, at 1:38 to 1:40 per rep with a 1-minute recovery. Okay, you add this up, 4K and 4K, you have 8 kilometers, that's 5 miles. Another mile, 6 miles, another mile there, 7 miles of total running. Okay, the fourth one is an 8-mile progression run now. I've done the first 3 videos, we had you at 6-mile progression run. Okay, this is an 8. Now you can either do this as a run itself, or you can do, depending on where your training volume is, you can do a little warm-up and then a little cool-down too. And then in between, depends. It's up to you and your athletes, so where their fitness is. Okay, so 8-mile, you're working your way from 9 minutes down to 7:30. So about 90 seconds slower than half marathon pace, you're building towards half marathon pace. Okay, gradually over time. And a way of doing this, let's say you break it up into 4 segments of 2 miles each. The first 2 miles at 9:30, the next 2 miles at 8:30, in 9 minutes, the next 2 miles at 8:30, the next 2 miles at 8 minutes, the last 2 miles at 7:30. Dropping 30 seconds per mile, and you're doing it for 2-mile blocks. It's a way of doing it. So, or you can just kind of gradually go as you feel. Okay. Number 5. 5 to 6 times 2 kilometers, okay, which is 5 laps on an outdoor track or 1.25 miles. And again, building towards 5 to 6 reps. You take a 3-minute active recovery, and it's at 7:30 to 7:20 per mile. So at half marathon pace, building towards 10 seconds per mile faster than half marathon pace, okay, which is closer to 10K pace. So if you can get to the point where you do your last rep or 2 at 10K pace, you're in good shape. Okay, so again, 5 to 6 times 2K, so it's 10 kilometers or 12 kilometers of total running, hard running. So that's number 5. And last but not least, the rolling long run. The first 3 videos we were at 11, 12 miles, but as you get fitter and more experienced at this point, at 7:30 per mile, which again is just under 140, as you can see, 138.20. Okay, that's what 7:30 per mile is, pretty much spot on for the half. Now we're building towards 14 to 15 miles. At some point, you want to cover the distance. And then if you can go a little bit beyond it, that's a good thing. And then as you get more experience and fitter towards the much faster half marathons, you're building towards 16, 17, 18 miles. And which is a great kind of long run distance if you're training for half marathon down. But if you want to move up to that marathon, if you get up to 17, 18 miles, it's easy to transition upward towards the marathon, if that's kind of a next goal. So if you've gotten to that point already, it's a much smoother transition, upward or downward, doesn't matter. Okay, so rolling long run, 14 to 15 miles. Again, the rolling component is to simulate, if you're at the half marathon you're training for is a rolling race. And I definitely encourage you, once you pick a half marathon and decide, take a look at the course map and see what it looks like and kind of design some of your harder workouts around what the course is going to look like. So if it's flat, your key workouts on the flats. If it's rolling, some of your key workouts like the longer reps on the rolling. Get used to pace fluctuations. But rolling long runs are also great strength builders. Whether you're running a flat course or a rolling course, doesn't matter. But it's a great way of simulating a rolling course and getting used to variations in pace. So these are the 6 workouts, okay? The long run is kind of the progression component I mentioned, and that's going to continue on because that's an important part for the half marathon and marathon. And then you have some new workouts here. So let me know what you think. Give me your feedback in the comments. Remember, the next video is going to be 7 minutes per mile. You'll have these same workouts, but you'll see a progression in pace from here to here. What do you need to do to get from here to here once you accomplish this goal? Okay? So it'll give you an idea on how to lay things out for periodization purposes. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit that thumbs up. It's really helpful to the channel's growth. It lets other people know this channel exists. And please share these videos with other people in the running community, coaches, athletes. I want to help as many folks as I possibly can. So thanks for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you next time.